story would be on Amaga children. I can't climb trees anymore. It's written by Ruskin Bond. So today we are going to learn Unit 2 prose lesson name I can't climb trees anymore. Ruskin Bond. Children, first I'll just give you a guest. And before that we'll have a question. Have you tried swimming from a tree? Yeah, yes. Everyone will be happy. Even at home, sometimes if no tree is there, you'll be asking your parents to tie a thing. So you'll be very happy in swimming and swinging in a tree. So not at home, in a separate tree in your garden, you'll be just asking your parents to tie a swing so that you'll be swinging. You'll be enjoying. Yes. Have you ever climbed up a tree to pluck fruits? So what a nice, jolly thing. But you must be very careful, no? So when parents used to say, in those days, trees all will be there. Will be even some people will be lucky enough to have tree at home and they can climb and pluck and eat the fruits. Yes. Now you all enjoying that, isn't it? Yes. How many of you like to climb a tree? Yes, everybody. But you must be very careful to climb. Sometimes if you're climbing and just making the thing, you will be having a problem. You'll be jumping and you'll be falling down, and so many things will be there. Think of other occasions when you have climbed up trees, either near your home or outside. So you can share your thing, children. You would have climbed the thing on occasions when you have a tree at home, you'll be climbed, or sometimes when you went to a park or to your relative's house or somewhere outside, when you're allowed to play, you'll be just holding the branch and you'll be swinging, or you'll be trying to climb it and your parents will be helping, or sometimes you climb and you get a help from your parents to get down. So those all would have happened, children. Yes, now I know that this all would have happened in your life. Okay. So here, children, this story I just narrate to you, and then I'll be just explaining you what it is. Yeah. So here it is very clear that this lesson is a young child who plays in the tree, and in his childhood he enjoys in a house where they were staying, and all of a sudden they were just moving to the other house. They sold the house and they were just going and settling somewhere. And that childhood mindset will be there in a person's mind, and a person grows, and after he grown to old age, he was of a middle age or of an old age, he is not able to climb anymore a tree. It just comes to the place, visit to the place same which they sold, and there he found a girl, and that girl was just asking who he was, and he was telling that when he was young he was just uh, enjoyed the day there. It is his own house and they sold to their parents. And she was asking and getting permission from that girl. And he tells the girl that he kept some treasure in the tree, and he can't climb anymore, he says. And when he says like that, the girl says, "Don't worry, I'll climb and get your treasure." And she goes and brings the treasure. You know that a young school going boy, what will be the treasure? Okay, so that is a surprise I kept you. At the end of the story, you can know what is the end of the lesson. You can understand what is the gift, that treasure that when he was young he kept, and what the girl is bringing to you. Okay, so we'll go for the lesson, children. We'll read a paragraph and we'll go for explanation. Read the story given below. Find out why the narrator feels that he can't climb. Okay. He told on the grass verge by the side of the road and looked over the garden wall at the old house. It hadn't changed much. The old house, built with solid blocks of granite, wasn't alerted at all. But there was a new outhouse, and there were fewer trees. He was glad to see that the jackfruit tree still stood at the side of the building, casting its shade on the wall. He remembered his grandmother saying, so we'll stop here, children. I'll be explaining you. Okay, you want an annotation? Okay. So your verge, what is the meaning of verge? Verge. Oh, okay. So you stood on the grass verge. What is a verge by the side of the road and looked over the garden? What is the meaning for the verge, children? Verge means an edge or a border, a edge or a border. So the grass edge, he's walking. He stood on the grass verge, means edge, by the side of the road and looked over the garden wall at the old house. He was a wall at the old house. It was an old house, and at the wall he was standing. It hadn't changed much. That house had not changed much. The old house, built with solid blocks of granite, wasn't alerted at all. So the old house built with solid blocks. It was built with the solid blocks of granite. So now granite was there, wasn't alerted at all. But there was a new outhouse. So only the same house, and with the house they are made a granite stones. And but there was a new outhouse being built, and there were fewer trees, and very few trees were there. So some trees they cut and they made as a outhouse. He was glad to see that the jackfruit tree still stood at the side of the building, casting its shade on the wall. He remembered his grandmother saying, so the jack tree was there still, and it stood still there, and it was standing near the house, and it was just gives a shade all over the place, shade on the wall. He remembered. So when the grandmother used to say when he was young, a blessing rest on the house where the shadow of the tree falls. So what she used to say? She used to say, he remembered his grandmother saying what she used to say. A blessing rests on the house where the shadow of the tree falls, and so the present owners must also be receiving the tree's blessings. At the spot where he stood there had once been a turnstile, and as a boy he would swing on it, going round and round until he was quite dizzy. Now the turnstile was gone, the walled up tall olichos grew on the other side of the wall. What do you mean by turnstile? A mechanical gate. No, in olden days there will be a mechanical gate. If you stand, it will be going round and round and round. So there will be four, sometimes two. You can stand there and move on that. If you're rolling, it will be just rolling and go. So when he was young, what he used to do, he will be stood on that turnstile, and he'll be rolling all over. So turnstile is a gate, small gate which will go around. Yeah, blessing rest on the house where the shade of the tree falls. So your grandmother used to say a blessing. rest on the house. The blessing of the house is where the shade of the tree falls, where the shade of the tree falls. And so the present owners must also be receiving the tree's blessings at the spot where he stood there had once been a turnstile, and as a boy he would swing on it, going round and round until he was quite dizzy. So at the spot where he stood there had once, so where he was standing, once there was a turnstile. Turnstile is a gate. And as a boy, what he used to do, he would swing on it, going round and round and round until he was quite dizzy. Now the turnstile was gone, so the turnstile has moved. The opening walled up tall oleoaks grew on the other side of the tall. What are you looking at? What are you looking at? So now somebody is asking, what are you looking at? It was disembodied. What do you mean by disembodied, children? What do you mean by disembodied? Disembodied means separate from. So their body was not, only voice is heard. They were not able to see the person. It was disembodied voice at first. At first, only voice was here, and he was not able to see anything. Only voice was here. Moments later, a girl stood framed between dark red olives, staring at the man. So there was a oleox plant, which is a croton plant, which is kept. Its leaves all will be big, and it will be there. And it is a plant, a tall Eurasian plant. And between the two plants, she was dark red olicock staring at the man. So she is staring at the man and asking. It was a disembodied voice at first. Moment later, a girl stood framed between dark red olicock staring at the man. She was only 12 or 13 with lively eyes and long black hair. So she was of 13 or 14 years, 12 or 13 years, and with lively eyes and long hair. Her eyes were very lovely. There is loveliness, and she was having a long black hair. I'm looking at the house. Is it yours? He asked. So he was saying that I'm looking at the house. So the girl, is it yours? He asked. So he is asking, I'm looking at the house. Is this house is yours? He is asking. No, it's my father's. What she's telling, she's too small, no, as a 13-year or 12 years, and she's telling that it is my father's. Why do you want to buy it? So that girl asking, you want to buy this house? For that you're asking. And what does your father do? So next question here, the author asks, and what does your father do? He is only a colonel. So here he says that he is only a colonel. So sorry, he is only a colonel. Colonel means military officer. He is only a colonel. So colonel means a military officer. So your homophones COLONEL colonel, and KENNERRENEAL colonel. That is also. So that colonel is in a white coconut inside. It is called. And here this colonel is um, officer grade, a military officer grade. And well, so he is saying that he is only a brigadier, not a colonel. Well, he should have been a brigadier by now. So you have to be a brigadier, but he had not become a brigadier. The man burst out laughing. So only a colonel means next higher position than colonel is brigadier, and he had not become a brigadier. Actually, he must become a brigadier. Well, he should have been a brigadier by now. The man burst out laughing. You know that sometimes mothers, grandmothers, and others at the home used to say that, and the child also heard many times. So she is telling, he is only a colonel and not a brigadier. The man burst out laughing. He was laughing by hearing from the child. It's not funny, he said. Even mummy says he should be an brigadier. It was on the tip of his tongue to make a witty remark. Perhaps that's why he is still a colonel. But he did not want to. Okay. So here in the tip of the tongue, he says that as a witty remark. Perhaps that's why he is still a colonel. So mother want to become a brigadier. That's why he is like a colonel. So he's saying, but he did not want to. But he did not want to give offense. They stood on either side of the wall, appraising each other. Do you want to buy it? So now she's asking, do you want to buy it again? No, he said. No, he said. Well, she said, if you don't want to buy the house, if you don't want to buy the house, if you don't want to buy the house, what are you looking at? So then what for you're looking out? You don't want to buy the house, then what for you're looking out? I used to live here 25 years ago as a boy, as a young man, as a young man. And then my grandmother died and we sold the house and went away. So here that man was feeling very sad. I used to live here 25 years ago as a boy, as a young man. And then my grandmother died. Because my grandmother died and we sold the house and went away. Okay, children, we'll stop here and continue in the next class. Okay, question for you. What was the old house built? What was the old house built with? Does the narrator still live in the house? So I want the question answer for this two questions. What was the old house built with? Yeah, right. It was built with a granite. Does the narrator still live in this house? No. So we'll stop here and continue in the next class, children.